Alana Nash's 2000 biography on Colonel Tom Parker and Elvis Presley has become a #1 bestseller on Amazon following Baz Luhrmann's new Elvis biopic that has premiered in this past week, says Variety. Man, I think this is cool. This is a product of new media influencing old media. We just seen this recently with Kate Bush's song being featured on Stranger Things, and now all of a sudden she's topping the charts in the UK. I know for a fact. I haven't looked at the charts lately, but I think it's really exciting to be a writer or a musician or somebody and have done something a long time ago, and then it gets used in something current, and then all of a sudden you're back in the fold. You know what I mean? Like, that's cool. Like, this author could turn around and write a new book now, and all of a sudden have a resurgence in their career. I think it's also cool when you consider, like, I've been around for a while now. It's my way of saying I'm getting older and seeing different things. And, you know, I used to have a record deal and whatnot, and it was all about having your CD or record on the end caps at the record store, and that was key to selling stuff. Now we live in a world with infinite record space. Their shelf space is infinite, and anybody can just stumble across your stuff. And next thing you know, if it's good, the cream rises to the top. If you get a bump from the right person on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, you've got a chance. I think it's really exciting for, anybody from an independent filmmaker or writer or musician to an old, when you thought washed up musician or author. Like, I could have a song all of a sudden that popped up from my 20-year-old record deal, and all of a sudden I'm current again. I don't think that's going to happen. I think my home's here on YouTube, but I just think it's exciting and it's an interesting thought. But I didn't mean to go off on that rant. But Curtis, you've read the Colonel. I recommended that book to you. I really, really enjoyed it because it talks about the inner dealings of Tom Parker and Elvis and whatnot. I don't know if you finished it or not, but what are your thoughts on that book? And do you think the author deserves a resurgence?
Yeah, I absolutely do, because I noticed now as I was listening to the book before and after I had seen the movie, and it seems like they pulled a lot from the book. From that book, there's tons. It's a biopic, so there's tons of Elvis's life that's recorded and stuff like that. But it did. That book was focused a lot on the Colonel, and the movie didn't. Movie focused on Elvis, but it showed a lot more of the Colonel than we normally see in movies like that and stuff. And I would say that if you do enjoy the movie, the book obviously goes into way more detail. I listened to it on Audible, and it was about 15 hours, but it didn't feel like it. It went by pretty quick. And I would absolutely recommend it to you. It's not surprising at all that it came back to #1.
Have any of you guys read that book, the Colonel, Charlie or Derek?
No, I have not.
It's. Go ahead, Charlie.
Oh no, because I know you guys did your episode last week on Elvis on the movie, and obviously I knew a lot about Black history, and I kind of had my preconceived notions of Elvis in general, and you guys really kind of brought a lot of stuff to my attention that I didn't really think about. So having a book that kind of goes into the inner dealings of how all that stuff went down would be kind of interesting. I would be interested in checking that out.
Yeah, dude, I would really recommend watching the movie because it wraps it up in a couple of hours that you can digest quickly. If you're fascinated, you want to know more, you can read the book. They kind of glaze over some of that stuff in the movie, but it's just, anything from like the Colonel. When I had a record deal and I had a manager, they're making like 20%. That was a standard manager. Elvis's manager, the Colonel, was making 50%, and then it got to a point where the manager was making 75% of the money. And Elvis is just going along with it, and he just all he wanted to do was play music and do his thing. He grew up in music. He loved music. He got swindled into making movies, which he was kind of interested in. But then, like, you're going to make them for years, and then he gets swindled into playing a casino. He's like, well, cool. I get to do whatever I want. Yeah. All right. Well, 6-7 weeks in a casino. That's pretty good. That's fine. I'll make some money and I get to do whatever I want. Next thing you know, he gets swindled into doing 6 years in a casino and all he wants to do is travel and tour and play music it's insane. It makes you really feel bad for Elvis because, he was an entertainer and not a businessman, and I feel like that happens a lot. Like businessmen have a way of really screwing over talent. Anyway, so check it out, man. Like check out that movie. It's really good. Like I really enjoyed it. Curtis, you were gonna say?
Well, no, and I was gonna say, and you've got to think too. For anybody who doesn't know or isn't thinking how evil that is, Elvis is doing all the work, but besides that, you got to think too, his rates went up after Elvis was famous. Elvis was the most famous person in the world, and then the manager promoter's like, I need more money. This is hard work. Like, a sock full of rocks could have done the Colonel's job once Elvis was that big, and his rates go up. So it's just ridiculous. And
I'm sure there was a whole bunch of really good managers who would have just clawed and scratched to get into that position, but somehow he had a hold of him. It's fascinating. It's a fascinating book if you're an Elvis fan, and we got a lot of Elvis fans that have watched the video that we posted. We did some reviews on Elvis, and I've had some really cool interactions. People telling us like, yeah, he was from Holland. The Colonel was from Holland. When we were talking about his accent, that he was good friends with B.B. King, which is cool. They show that in the movie too, and it's like. He's just a guy that grew up listening to music that influenced him, and he was trying to spread that music and that just spread that energy out, and he had a lot of hiccups, and it's unfortunate. But anyway, it's a great movie. Go watch the movie, and if you're looking for a great read, it's a great read. And I'm a guy with a short attention span. There's not a whole lot of books that I could say, hey, I started and read cover to cover and didn't either have a long pause or just got distracted and started something else. This book I read front to back fast and enjoyed the hell out of it. So check it out. What do you guys in the chat think about the Elvis movie if you have seen it yet? And anybody out there who's read the book and likes it or read it and didn't like it, let us know in the comments on this video.